With the Sega Saturn controller that came with Knights, that was a good controller.
Yeah.
The 3D controller pad?
Yes,
Yes, I have one of those.
really like that one.
I actually like that controller. A few years ago, I picked two of them up off of Amazon for $5 a piece. Unfortunately, one of them got stolen.
Oh,
The Atari module for the ColecoVision.
Ooh. Oh.
In fact, I have one of those too.
Me too.
Can you imagine if it was today? They'd be screaming lawsuit up the ass.
yeah.
Lawsuit!
Copyright infringement.
But see, what's strange about it is, ColecoVision, you could use an Atari controller or a Sega Genesis controller because it's the same pins and it would work.
Would he be
Right.
able to use a Sega Master System controller or no?
Actually, yeah, it's the same pins
Because they're the same pins.
because you could use actually a Sega Genesis controller on a Sega Master System.
Yeah.
And only utilizes two buttons.
Lucky you.
Well, yeah, she'll have to tell.
Well, I just figured that out by looking at the end. I'm like, that looks just like a Genesis one.
Same pin.
I mean, some of the good accessories like the Game Genie, Action Replay,
love
Game
the-
Shark.
Oh,
I
game
did like the
sheets.
Game Genie a lot.
The best thing about the Game Genie is you can mod it to make it play imports.
Mm.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, you actually could. All right, let's see. What's another good game accessory that we have laying around RBS Gamer Studios?
The Saturn Virtual Stick.
Ooh.
Right.
I mean, despite that it's like that the buttons look all strange as hell in the control layout or whatever, it's still considered a good piece of work.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty heavy duty. You could throw it all across your room and make it slam against the wall.
I should get one of them then.
All
Me
right.
personally, I still like the Donkey Kong bongos for the Nintendo Game.
Oh, the
Oh,
Donkey
those are-
Konga. Donkey.
Hey, I have those right over there too.
You have to pop on a video
It
one day
actually-
and actually do a demonstration for that for us gamer jits.
It
I should
actually
just
wasn't a bad
do a video
accessory.
for stuff.
Actually, do the Muppet Baby when you're playing on the bongo drums.
Okay, how do I do that when it's not even on the game?
No, just pop up in the video. Be like Muppet, 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 Muppet.
All right.
Yeah, just simulate it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Some ugly ones now.
Now, y'all might bash me upside the head if I was to say that this was good, but it's also ugly at the same time.
Which one? Okay. What's that?
The Jaguar controller by Atari.
Oh, it's a freaking got a touch. It's a freaking dial tone pad on it.
The
man.
phone controller,
Ugh.
one of the many phone controllers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see what the heck is up with the freaking numeric keypad on the game controller because they tried that with ColecoVision, Intellivision, and then the 5200 had that too.
Yeah, but the controller, I mean, it could have been worse. I mean, the Dreamcast got a strange feel to it.
Yeah, but that's the
Yeah,
thing.
see, honestly, I couldn't say anything because
Actually, I
I
can't.
never
Talk,
played
right.
with the Jaguar, but I think it's funny that it looks like a phone.
actually, I can't talk shit about the Dreamcast because I don't have a Dreamcast, so I never played with the controller. So,
Bum, bum, bum. Time to go on eBay.
yeah.
Here was another one nobody really remembers. How about the Samba de Amigo maracas for the Dreamcast?
See, I like that.
Could you imagine?
Pretty good concept, just extremely rare to find now.
See, that's just something about game accessories. I mean, this is stuff that that was sold maybe like 40, 50 bucks back when we were growing up, at like Toys R Us, and nowadays, you can't even find them, and if you do, they're expensive.
Yeah, really.
as hell. It just makes us wonder why we didn't hang on to our stuff when we were growing up.
I know. So many-
What?
Yeah.
Huh. What about the Game Boy Advance replacement screen cover that you always had trouble with?
My brother had changed one of those out. He said it was not fun. Because actually, the Game Boy Advance I used to have before I got my SP was an import one.
There was
Never
another
seen
pretty.
that. What is it?
I thought this
What it
was
is-
a shitty peripheral.
What it was is...
The Game Boy printer.
Oh, we used to have... I think I still got one laying around.
What is it?
Game Boy...
The Game
The
Boy
Game
printer.
Boy printer.
What?
Yeah. You could print pictures.
No way.
Say you had the Game Boy camera. You took pictures.
Oh,
You could print it
I
out.
remember that now. Yeah, that looks like yeah.
Yeah, and actually the pictures were not that great.
No.
Well, it could be worse. The Game Boy Advance worm cam was something not to consider too well either.
Never seen one.
You don't want to.
But anyway, getting back on the import advance, what it is, I mean, it's just basically it came out before before the Game Boy Advance was released in U.S. and I was able to get a hold of one. And I think original price tag on mine is $110.
Mm-hmm.
And then I bought one game which was like $50, which actually I still have the box and the game that's boxed. It still has their price tags on it. But that's just something about the Game Boy. There was no region encoding on it. So you could play, cartridges from Japan on an American system.
Same with the Game Gear.
Mm-hmm.
You know when you think about good accessories, I mean the Game Boy Player. I mean not the Game Boy, the GameCube Game Boy.
The Game Boy Player for the
That was
Nintendo
a good one.
GameCube.
Yeah, I actually like that one.
Now
Or
you're
the Super Game Boy.
Super
I like
Game
the
Boy
Super Game Boy.
for the Super Nintendo. That's another good one. Now your only downfall, if you had the Game Boy Player for the GameCube, is you need to have that boot disc. Otherwise, if you don't have that boot disc, you're screwed. You can't play it. So it's basically do not lose that disc.
My friend has one. I wanted to steal it from his house.
Actually, you want to know something? I picked mine up at GameStop for $10.
There's not any of those around in our GameStops. It's ridiculous. I don't
No.
know, like 10
I
or
think
20
mine's-
GameStop.
I think mine still has one left if they haven't sold it yet.
Well, I mean you can always try something like Game Crazy if you have Hollywood Videos in your area.
Yeah, we have one of those in our area.
Yeah,
They'll try them.
there's one up north of me.
What about the Nintendo 64 expansion pack?
Oh,
I like the N64 expansion pack.
yeah, that's the memory expansion. That actually improved the graphics a little bit.
And I do remember for some games for the Nintendo 64, you did have to have the expansion to play it. Like, for instance, Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask.
Yep.
Perfect Dark.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I think Pokemon Stadium was one of them.
Was it?
I'm not sure. Let me
I don't recall that being one.
hang on.
Right.
Let me pull up the wiki page real quick and see what it says.
Because I know Perfect Dark was one.
Also, Donkey Kong 64.
That's one of them.
Mhm.
That was one of them you need the expansion pack for.
And if I remember correctly, when you bought Donkey Kong 64, the expansion came with it.
Mm-hmm. Actually, it came with Majora's Mask. The first release of it was with Majora's Mask when they released it. 8 megabyte expansion pack.
Yeah, I think it was
All right.
required for Buffer Days too, so it could expand his intelligence.
All right, here's the. This is the list of games, according to Wikipedia, that actually had to use that expansion pack. Quake 2 was one of them. Pokemon Stadium 2, Road Rash 64, Resident Evil 2, Turok 2, Turok 3. Actually, there's only 4 of them that actually had required that. It was Donkey Kong, Perfect Dark, StarCraft, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, and The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask.
I think another piece of shit of an accessory was probably the I think it was Action Replay Max memory card.
Oh,
Because the thing is, if you was to always try to use like the PlayStation 2 exploits and everything, what happened is it's like that it either corrupt the system or it'll corrupt the memory card itself.
All right.
Those are bad, and also the third-party memory cards for the PlayStation 1 and 2 were horrible.
yes.
Actually,
No,
actually
not
nowadays,
really.
Microsoft, their new update that they released about I think it was like a year ago for the Xbox 360, it locks out third-party memory cards. You have to use genuine Microsoft memory cards. But actually now they've released an update that allows you to use USB flash drives to back up your data.
That's so cool.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
the max requirement is 16 gigs, the max that you can store on them.
Yeah, we put movies on there.
Yeah, actually, your videos, you can put your
Yeah.
videos on there as long as you
I'm gonna be
format
doing that.
as long as you format the memory stick first. You have the 360 formatted. You can put your stuff on there, and then you can even plug it into your PC. All right, another good accessory. How about the Rumble pack for the Nintendo 64? It came first released with Star
Yay.
Fox 64, which I do have boxed.
I like
I'll
that.
go 50-50 on that.
Oh, come on,
Yeah.
man. Rumble Pack.
I liked it.
The Rumble Pack ain't all that great, man.
Yeah, it was. What the hell are you talking about?